Oh, you are ya dede, you are ya yes ya garane. You are ya garane me rabo mai. Hey you garane ma you garana. You are ya garane me rabo mai. You me ko yin so me ya yin so you ba nu ka kwen. You are ya garane me rabo mai. Ya ke you are o ba nu sali e wo ka kwen wa. You are ya garane me rabo mai. You are ya o. Your mama walk out in school. It made it. Yaku yadwe. Yaku yadwe. Me you are gay yard dog yawa. Yeah, you are old couple ya. Yeah, you are old come ya. You come yadwe you are. For your yas, ya got like when I'm late here, Kakamai. Aye, you are ya, guy. Uban Salio, got me.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to this program. I'm Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe here. Very shortly, we're going to have our special guest is already in studio. In Liberia, that Madam Edith Gongloe is going to be our special guest here this evening. Just bear with us, and we're going to get this program very shortly going here. I'm Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV.
One wapper, or let us see what you are. How I never pay a you for. There are both Mosomen line, Mosomen apple.
This is how we want to welcome her here, taking you to our own county, Nimba County. That's a former superintendent of Nimba County, right? Madam Edith Gongloe to where. Stay tuned. We're going to have a fascinating discussion here this evening.
That's what you can. Oh, yes, what do I mean? Oh, nice, what I go. Call it, I you up. Baby, you know, Tino, you like a champion, and no, you go outside. Oh, you're there, Connie. When you're there, money. You know, I let go, man.
All right, that's right there. That's how we want to welcome Madam Edith Gongloe. Very shortly, they're going to be joining us here, right here from I'm Afonso Ziensot, New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned, and we're going to be linking in control here very shortly with her here, and we're going to have this program going here as well. Stay tuned. I'm Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV, right here to the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Let's see here. I wanted to give her another something here that you know she's gonna guess here. Let's see here. Peace.
It's T-Will on the beat.
Yahweh.
That's gospel artist Jimaman to work off 5-man battle. That's how I want to welcome our guest here this morning. Is a little after 12 here to mean 12:14. Never let stay tuned.
Yeah, I fight my battle. Jesus fight my battle. Yeah, I fight my battle. Fight those who fight against me. Yeah, I fight my battle. Jesus fight my battle. Yeah, I fight my battle. Fight those who fight against me. Yeah, I fight my battle. Jesus fight my battle.
Oh, yes, the letter is making contribution here to Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned. We will be getting this program on the way. The political race in Liberia is on the rise, And so we shall bring all of the politicians to a public discussion here. That's what we believe in, and that's what we want to do here.
Fight it and make me a winner. What kind of life when you're living? When I apply for job, can I get it? What kind of life I'm living today? When I hear someone they don't recognize me. What sort of life when you're living? My friends are children, but I don't have one. No. What kind of life I'm living today? When I read my application, they don't accept it. Papa, fight my battle. Fight that depression battle, man. Jehovah, fight my battle. Fight the suppression battle.
Jesus fight my battle. Lion of the tribe of Julia. Miracle working God. Fight this battle for me, Lord. Praise God I am.
All right.
Mighty warrior.
That's how we're going to leave it right now. What an awesome way to welcome the former superintendent of Nimba County, who happens to be one of the formidable candidates, as we are hearing from that end. Is in a political race in the consequential May 10 senatorial elections in Nimba County, to one of the vote-rich county there. And so very shortly, Madam Gongloe will be joining me here. She's currently in main studio in Liberia. I want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I'm not sure why the share option is not saying not even comment here. That's quite a little bit weird here this morning. But for those of you that are monitoring, do me a favor. If you wish, please just let somebody know that LPR is on. Let me see what I can get this off yet, and hopefully it can come on, because I'm not even seeing the option of comments, so make it a little bit challenging here. But notwithstanding, we'll do what we can do as long as I can have my guests yet, and you as a valuable listener, we will be able to get this conversation on the way. I am Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned. I will be right back. All right, developing now in continuations of seeking answers to the political situation in Liberia, and the conversation is on the rise right here on the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Standing by in main studio shortly to be joining me in from Liberia is the Senatorial Aspirant Edith Gongloe of Nimba County will be my special guest. Just arrived from Battleground, Nimba here. Mike Downs and standing by, and the rest of the crew. We also have station manager Nathaniel Kripo is monitoring the Liberal Progressive in Sacramento. Our man Augustine Jones is in Nimba County, and as well as Mose Toba is in Mount Gibby. Bertintino is right there in Bon County, as well as Daniel Gatet, our national correspondent assigned in San Quelle, keeping track of all of what is unfolding in Liberia. Quite interesting. So here this afternoon, too, we're going to be having the former superintendent of Nimba County, Madam Edith Gongloe. Let's see here. I believe my guest is already here, folks. I am Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Developing right now is okay, developing right now is the former superintendent of Nimba County, Madam Edith Gongloe, is now in main studio of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Standing by to join us here. Let's go to Ovia so that we can have this going here another way here. So Mike Dunn is there and Madam Gongloe is standing by. Mike, hopefully you take your audio. Please get the audio going on there. Are you guys ready?
Yes, we're going to work on it. We're going to work on it. It's going to be okay. We are very happy to see Manawe in Liberia Public Radio Studio, and the Capitol building you see behind us is
Pastor
where
Bennett, you want to go.
is where Manaware want to go. So this is why we are using the Capitol building image behind us. So I mean, we are very happy that Manaware is in studio with us today. So Alfonso, again, thank you, and
Okay.
we are here.
All right. Let me go to the guest there. It's very difficult to introduce people. I hope that audio, I'm getting a feedback. My please work on it as possibly as you can. So let me go to the superintendent, if you will, to comment. The former superintendent of Nimba County, Madam Edith Gongloe, where to introduce herself. I wish I can do this, but I just every day we have new viewers and listeners following us here. So let me just go to her to briefly introduce herself. Good evening and good afternoon. Welcome, Madam Superintendent.
Good afternoon, Alfonso. Briefly, I almost forgot your name. Good afternoon, Alfonso, and good afternoon to the listening audience and those who are watching from around the world. My name is Edith Gongloe. I come from Nimba County, specifically from Glei Zopie, in Yao-Mesno Statutory District, which is Electoral District 9. My both parents are deceased, but I'm the fourth of about 10 children. I'm married with 4 beautiful children. I'm married to an amazing husband. I've lived and worked both here in Liberia and the United States of America. I've worked in child welfare. I've worked in government. I've worked in civil society. I'm also a former journalist, I should say that. I'm trained as a journalist. That's my first degree. And then I went on to another field. So I worked as a journalist just for a year. That was 1997 and 98. And since then, I have worked in other fields. I'm also a project management professional, graduate certificate in that from the Villanova University. I have a master's in social work, clinical social work from Temple University in Philadelphia, United States, Pennsylvania. And again, the popular one that the entire Nimba and the rest of Liberia knows is that I've worked as superintendent. So I'm a former superintendent of Nimba County, the second largest county. I like to say the largest county by all measures, because if you take into account the percentage of Nimba population in all of the populations of Liberia in the various counties, you can almost safely say that Liberia is the largest county population and land size wise. So this is Edith Gongloe. I've contested twice for the senatorial position, both in 2011 and then 2014. I've contested against the proverbial godfather of Nimba County, the Honorable Senator Prince Y. Johnson in 2014. And again, I am an aspirant for this 2020 senatorial elections. And so this is who Edith Gongloe is.
Okay. All right. Madam Superintendent, if you were to still call you, I want to thank you so much for honoring our invitation to join us here at Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV for being here this afternoon. Thank you so much. My understanding, you just arrived from your own county.
My home yet. I came from Nimba straight onto your studios because I wanted to respect the time. We talked about 4 o'clock, so I wanted to be here on the dot, and I was.
Okay. All right, folks. Just bear with us. Whatever coming here, Mike, please do everything possible. That I'm still getting the feedback. That shouldn't be it. So, yeah, okay. So that we will get this process on the way. I'm Alfonso Zian. So, you heard it directly from the house's mouth twice now and still going by. This is the building that you are looking at here. Hopefully, you are seeing it virtually from in studio. I saw protests, people calling for the Muslim community one year, their holiday, workers on Capitol building now being paid. Madam Superintendent, twice now. What is the beauty of the house for which you still insisting and fighting to go?
Look, quite honestly, Alfonso, I believe, and I strongly believe, that for Liberia to make any leap of progress, the Senate of the Republic of Liberia, the national legislature, has to change. It has to be populated with men and women who have independence, who are independent-minded, who can make sound independent decisions, who can also stand up for what is right to protect the interest of their citizens, to protect the interest of this country. Because from what we see happening, and not just in this administration, even in previous administrations, our country is really at risk. And for us to minimize that risk and ensure that our sovereignty is protected at all levels, we need to have a strong Senate. We need to have a Senate that is populated by men and women who are nationalistic, who are selfless, who are determined, and who are independent, who also have integrity and character and can fight for the issues that matter to the people, the issues that impact the daily lives. The survival need of our people must be met. And you cannot do that if you have a weak and rubber stamp Senate. You cannot do that if you have a Senate that will be, like just there for the name of it, for lack of a better word or lack of a better way to describe it. So I know that my people over the years have demonstrated immense trust in our ability to be independent, in our ability to speak out and advocate for their interest. And this is what is key in this election. Nimba County, I'll tell you what, is, like I said, in my view, the largest county by its population and land size. And it has a bunch of resilient people, very strong men and women, highly educated. But we think that our representation at the Senate does not really match who we are. And so I think to change that, and I believe to change that, this 2020 is important. More than that, we have a county whose population is about 50.2% women. Of the 50.2% women and say 49% men, our entire legislative leadership, all of our seats are occupied by men. The county administration, every position in a county administration, from superintendent to the treasurer, are all men. And the question becomes, who answered to the daughters of Nimba? We need to change that equation. It doesn't augur well. It doesn't look well. We need to have role models for our girls. Our girls need to look at their leaders and see a face that looks like theirs. That is not happening. And for me, this is not well. It doesn't speak well of the people of Nimba. I believe even the men of Nimba want to have that change, because everyone who has a girl child who is laboring to send them to school want to have good role model for them. And I present myself as that, to continue to work along with the men for the upliftment of Nimba and to ensure that the strong voice of Nimba is heard again in the Senate.
All right. Yeah, that sounds very good yet. So let me just ask you here. There's some sort of a confusion from my end in terms of the proportionalities of this opposition. I believe you would. I believe it should be the Liberty Party, but you can authenticate that. Would there be a primary? I still don't understand how this process going to work. Everybody just going to go in the race. I want to establish that for the benefit of the audience. You have Ta Wombe, you have Jeremiah Tycoon, all of that. They are from the other side of the political eye here. But I want to know, how are you contesting there? Is it the CPP? Are you the only persons, and all of the candidates from the various political parties, would they all be contesting?
Well, I can speak for what I know. I know, number one, I am running. I'm contesting. My face is going to be on the ballot. That I can assure anybody in this country and elsewhere. The other thing is that I am a member of the Liberty Party, and the Liberty Party is also a member of the Collaborating Political Parties, the CPP. There are arrangements in the work. I cannot boldly tell you what they are. I know there are 3 steps to this. You have the consensus building, and then the VPS, which is the voters perception survey that is expected to be conducted. I'm told it's going to be conducted by a reputable institution. And then that voters perception survey, which is intended to inform the thinking of the population in terms of which candidate or which contestant, so to speak, has the ears and eyes of the people to some extent. That VPS will be followed by a primary according to the framework document that was developed. The details of how it's going to work, I cannot tell you because I'm not privileged with that information. I'm not on a committee. So I will leave it at that. But what I do know, like I said emphatically, is that Edith Gongloe is going to be on the ballot. On this 2020 December 8 ballot, I'm going to be on that ballot because election politics is local. The reality is that the people of Nimba want change. They yearn for change, and real change. Change that you can feel, a change that means a lot to the lives of our people, our children, who are being left by the wayside, who have become professional motorcyclists today because of the lack of opportunity. Change for our women who feel excluded. Change to minimize the level and high level of maternal mortality in Nimba. Change to reduce the level of gender-based violence, especially meted against young girls, the high level of rate, the high rate of rape. Change to ensure that our agricultural sector is supported through government budget. These are changes, these are issues that matter to the people of Nimba. And so politics being local, they see that in me. I am an advocate. I've always been a strong advocate. Like I tell people at Fonso, being an advocate is not an overnight thing. It's not something you just jump up today and you say you're an advocate. You have to have that history. It's something that builds up and it becomes second nature to you. So I've known myself over the years, from my youthful days up to my adulthood, to be engaged in social justice advocacy throughout my life. So this is something I've done even in America when I work in the child welfare, sector of America, where we advocate for the marginalized group of America, to ensure that they benefit from entitlement programs and their children have the opportunity to be fed, to have health insurance and those kinds of stuff. Fighting for poor people is something I've done all my adult life, and this is what I want to do for the people of Nimba. And these are the things that are on the ballot for 2020. And so come what may, Edith Gongloe is going to be on the ballot.
Okay, thank you. Mike, is there a way that, is there a way that hopefully we can make adjustment in one of our commercial break where she can be focused, at least focused in the sense that there should be no echo here. Okay, politics is all about the past, and there are people that are going to be okay. So let's just do a little bit backtracking here because the politics in our country there is so much divide. So let's talk a little bit when you serve as the superintendent of the people of Nimba County. What am I trying to dig up all wounds here? You alluded to you contested first. I don't know. I don't understand why a daughter who served the county as the chief administrator. They didn't listen to her political tone, her message. Was there anything that perhaps during your time as superintendent didn't go right with the people of Nimba County? And now you coming back, was just a lesson learned? Give her the history here a little bit here before we come to your agenda this time around. What were some of the things that you can really count on that Madam Ware can boast of? I was superintendent. This is what happened. This is what was achieved. It is concrete. It is not abstract. And then perhaps we can look at your current political agenda.
Thank you so much, Alfonso. Before I even get into that, we're trying to give you a whole list of things that I've done for this county for the short term that I was there as superintendent. Let me just set the record straight for the past elections and put them in context. We are of the conviction, and this is the conviction of the majority of the citizens of Nimba. This is not just about Edith. This is not even just about those who support me. Our problem over the years in the elections we've participated in have been the fact that we believe our votes, the votes of those who have stood in the rain and sun to cast their ballot for us, those votes have not really been counted as they should. This is our belief. And why do I say that? In every election, there has to be, you have to have poll washers. In the past 2 elections, those were our weakest links. We didn't have poll washers to many of the polls. So whatever we were told were our numbers, we could not justify or substantiate them. That became our weakest link, and that became a challenge to us. Having said that, we come to why the Nimba people have explicitly, over the years, put their confidence in our ability to lead them, in our ability to represent them, especially at the national level in the Senate. The reasons are simple. The short time that we spent as superintendent, 1 year, 10 months, we were dubbed as the most successful superintendent in Nimba pre- and post-war era. To this day, there has been no superintendent that has matched our record in terms of the level of development that we carried out. I'm not going to start enumerating them, but one of the key things that I like to point out as an advocate, when I took over the county as its superintendent, we had all of the chiefs, majority of them, general town chiefs, they call them, the zone chiefs, had been working for years without being on payroll, not being captured in our national budget. But they were chiefs, and they attended every county meeting, every county sitting. They carried out their duty as was expected of them, yet they were not on payroll. From Taylor Time to Judy Bryant to Ellen's. When I took over, we fought for that. And all of these chiefs were placed on payroll for the first time in their professional life. And then up to today's date, some of them, majority of them are still on payroll. That was one, strength of our advocacy that was demonstrated. The other is the fact that we were able to, I don't want to use the word fight, but we were able to push forward to have our own road building equipment as a county. Nimba has the largest number of road building equipment in the country, even more than the public works at the time. I don't know about now, but more than public works at the time. We were able to use our influence and leverage and advocacy to ensure that Nimba Social Development Fund was used to purchase brand new road building equipment from Capital Company with the instrumentality of the president at the time.
Some of those machines that you are talking about now, they are all in range now.
Okay, so this is, I'm going to come to that, but we're talking about achievement. Okay. What did we do? And the intention was clear. There's always this thing about the vision bearer and the implementer. Excuse me. If you have a vision, you are the best to implement that, because there's something that runs through your mind and you do all the calculation as to how to ensure that this vision becomes a reality. So the purchase of the equipment was one side of it. The usage of the equipment, unfortunately, by the time those equipment arrived in country, I was relieved of the position. And so those who came after me were not bearers of the vision. Okay. Therefore, the usage they killed their vision. My vision was to ensure that as large as our county is, it is connected, especially our farm to market roads. And this was not just my vision, the people of Nimba wanted that. In the county development agenda, which was done with the participation of the citizens of the county, this was their number one priority. These are strong people, resilient people, good farmers. Nimba had always been, prior to the war, a breadbasket county for Liberia. We are strong people, resilient people, farmers, and so they needed just their roads so that they can get food to the markets. That's why we purchased those equipment. Unfortunately, those who came after us perhaps didn't see it as we saw it. Some of them did. It's not all of them who didn't see it, but eventually good care was not taken, and today, sadly enough, that huge investment is at stake today. The machines are scattered all over the county. Some parts have been extracted, I'm told. I'm reliably informed by, some unknown individuals. More than that, not just the purchase of the road equipment. We were the first superintendent to initiate what we call the financial aid system in the entire Republic of Liberia. Before I took over, in fact, when I took over, there was nothing such as scholarship or financial aid for students. And our argument, based on our experience from the outside world, what our children had benefited from, that there may be people who have the desire to achieve higher education, but their families may not have the financial means to do so. And so having a stockpile of money called the Social Development Fund that is generated for ArcelorMittal taxes that is paid to the government, that portion that is given to the county every year for development, which is $1.5 million. We felt that the best development is to develop the human resource capacity of the citizens of Nimba. And so awarding this financial aid to students who wanted to go to tertiary institutions of all types, for me, was paramount. And we did that. Of course, against many odds being fought by people within the legislature at the time. Some argued that those who parents send them to college should have had money to pay their tuition fees. So if you didn't have the tuition, you didn't have to send your child to college. Fortunately, we were able to fight, and we won that fight, and our Nimba students received 3 consecutive semesters of financial aid from the Social Development Fund. That was through our effort. We also negotiated with ArcelorMittal and BHP Billiton, and we resurrected what we call the vacation job program for Nimba students. That was the first in post-war Liberia, that any investment company will be, I don't want to use demanded, but will be asked or requested as part of their social responsibility to the citizens of the county in which they operate as a corporate citizen of that county to assist our students during vacation time so that they will use their vacation time usefully and then earn something at the end of it. That was done.
Because there were a series of demonstrations at the Capitol building where some students were told to leave Monrovia and go and register in Nimba before benefiting from the scholarship.
Well, that must have been after
to register in that district.
That must have been after I left, because before I left, this is what we did, professionally and also in the spirit of unifying the county. We set up a committee, the Financial Aid Committee, and we ensured that all 5 tribes of Nimba were represented on that committee. It was chaired by a Mano person, co-chaired by a Gyo person, secretary by a Crown person, a member by a B and Mandingo, people. The reason we did that was to ensure that every segment of Nimba is factored into the scholarship, into the financial aid program. And it worked really successfully while we were there. If there was any such demonstration, it must have been after, I left. Beside that, for instance, the 2-time trophy that Nimba won, we of course, is because we are a hands-on leader. We are a leader who bring people together and build consensus and unify the people around a purpose or around a particular target. Our target was to ensure that we can bring our youth up, not just in education, but also galvanizing their physical and athletic abilities. And so we work with all of the leaders of Nimba, our chiefs, our elders, our women, our young people. And you saw that during our regime, Nimba really came together. Nimba was so unified. Nimba graduated from being called rebels to being called the Shining Stars in Liberia. And we won successively 2 times the trophies, not just in soccer, but also in kickball. But since I left, Nimba has not won one.
But Nimba went to final. Just a pass or tournament. Nimba went to finals.
Yes. We're not talking about finals. We're talking about winning and taking home the trophies.
Okay. Madam Superintendent, let me just come here. Thank you so much for joining us here. And from what I see, there is a compelling reason for such a political quest. Going for the first time, for second time, and I see what is unfolding. The behaviors of our lawmakers. I don't want to be judgmental here. Not all of them here, but it is it is crazy to see what is happening, and I'm quite sure there is something deeper, much inside. What is not happening now? That today, ordinary Liberians, they are confused. They don't know who to really deal with. They don't even know the good one from the bad one in terms of the political bickering, the divide, the inability to come to a consensus, to work across party line, to get things done. Member of the same group of people from the same county, they're not speaking. My own county, Grand, it is the same thing. Nimba, everywhere. This is just the drum beat across the go. How can Edith Gongloe make a difference?
Alfonso, we need to put more women in our legislature. We need to add more mothers. We need to add more nurturers. That's the reality. I mean, everywhere now in the world, every leader in the West has come to realize that for Africa to make any real shift in its leadership and development, there has to be that equation, that balance, where you have a lot more women participating in leadership and making decisions. It is globally proving that when you have, women of substance, I should say, when you have more women in leadership, education, quality education increases, healthcare improves, a lot of things get better. So let's bring more women into our leadership equation in Liberia. That's my take. Number 2, sometimes, like I tell our people, why are we disgruntled when we don't vet people we elect? Leadership is really about character. It's about integrity. And you have to have that track record. It's not something that you jump up today, you wake up from bed and you say, I'm a woman of character, I'm a woman of integrity. It has to be a pattern of life that your electorate must assess, they must judge. What has happened sadly in our country and in most of our counties is that people have commercialized our electoral process, and they think that they've equated money to leadership. That the more money you have, regardless of how you got that money, whether it's looted money, whether it's the money that has caused our hospitals to be completely empty today, no medicine, Doctors are not properly trained, not that they don't want the training, but the opportunity for those trainings are not available. Our nurses are yearning for training that is not available. Whether it is the money that should have done all of these plus more that now find their way in the pockets of few men. Our electorate are not asking. Bags of cement are not development. Bags of rice are not development. Bundles of zinc are not development, unfortunately. How many bags of rice have people not giving?
Somehow they are helping to build the lives of the people gradually.
How?
For example,
if you get a
house is de-roofed by heavy storm, the lawmaker will go there and re-roof it.
Okay, so that, let me tell you, this is not the function of the lawmaker. You can be a compassionate person. You don't necessarily have to be a lawmaker to help when somebody has such disaster. Even the Red Cross can help. Individuals, ordinary individuals can help. I have had a situation where I had fire to my home, and I had total strangers come to help. Total strangers bringing clothes for my children. Total strangers bringing food. It was not Congress people. It was ordinary citizens. It was goodwill people like the Red Cross and you name it. My thing is, there is so much conflict of interest in this country, and the electorate validated them. You elected somebody not just to make laws for you, but to also ensure oversight that those laws that are made are implemented to your benefit. They are not doing that. They take the money that should make your life better. They take the money that should make your schools, more advanced and give your children opportunities. That money, they take them. And they give you peanuts so that in the end you clap for them. Some of them immediately start to build their own hospitals, and it's sad. Today it has become a phenomenon in Liberia. Lawmakers are building high schools. They are building, and these are private schools. These are not public schools. They are building their own public.
Some of them have been turned over to government. For example,
they're building their own hospitals and clinics. Come on.
For example, Jeremiah
it's a charade. It's a charade.
Hospital over to the government.
It's a charade. The name is not changing. They said they are leasing it to the government for a certain number of years. And when is this happening? Is it happening around the election time? What is the intent of that? We have to read beyond. We have to be analytical. What is the intent of this goodwill at this 11th hour when you're participating in election? How long have you had the hospital?
Look,
by the way, like I said, it's conflict of interest. Why should a lawmaker even have a private hospital when they should be ensured, especially when you're on the Ways and Means Committee and on the Budget Committee, that you should be fighting for your county share of the national cake that will go towards the health sector of your county, that will go towards the educational sector of your county. Instead, you build your private hospital. What does that mean? It undermines your ability to advocate for your people. Instead, you will be advocating for your personal hospital. I think this should be discouraged. In fact, there should be a legislation that bar public officials from doing these private businesses. If you want to be a business person, go into business. Get out of the public space.
Okay, I think I don't usually agree with politicians, but this one here, I will agree with the superintendent. I am not a favorite of these politicians who have turned to humanitarian. They have turned to Mercy Sans Frontier to save the children. That's not their job. This is a complete political ploy, and it must be discouraged. On this one here, I will be on top of it with the superintendent with such a, I don't buy into that. Those are short-term approach to solve some of this. But let me come to this other point here, Madam Superintendent. You said you want women to go in the House of Parliament, Capitol Hill. That's fine. But what I also interested in here, what are these women taking to Capitol Hill in terms of their gender? Not only the sort of a race car or gender car, okay, because women, we want to go. But we also want women who are taking specific gender that will affect the life of our people, like what you are articulating now. So let's go through your political diary. What are your priorities if elected as Senator of Nimba County?
Come there, but let me just fight this one battle for women. How many men of substance, how many men of character Some of the people that we have, not all, but some of the men that we've voted for in the past, I can tell you, you show me one good man, I show you 10 good women. So let's not go there. The sad thing is society tends to lift the bar too high for women. When it comes to women, they hold us to such very high standard. And then they lower the bar and the standard for men. And this is what's killing our country. We need to get out of that. Having said that, let's come to what are my vision. And I hate to do this because I don't want to be accused of pre-campaigning. Campaigning has not opened. But over the years, what has continued to be like the one thing that encourages me to fight this battle is because I know that our people realize that they need someone who can advocate for them. For instance, in agriculture, this is something that I have on my platform. Why is it today we are not growing more food to feed ourselves? We are not growing more food because our agricultural sector has really not been subsidized, like other countries will subsidize their agricultural sector, so that food productivity will go up. We have not done that. Education, which we speak about, no country develops in the absence of developing the minds of its citizens, developing their ability to be independent, to be productive citizens. Today, in a world that is now advancing at a speed unimaginable, almost like lightning speed, we are in a country where almost literally no high school, at least not public high schools, that have laboratories, for instance, science laboratories. And our children are expected to compete with others. So one of the things that I want to advocate and make sure it happens is to infuse or to incorporate STEM education in our curriculum. STEM education, which you know, stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. Today, we don't have that in our school system. We need to graduate from the 1800s and 1900s and a way of education to a more modernized curriculum that will make our children competitive, even right here in the sub-region. There's so many things that we can do, and I know the citizens of Nimba and Nimba having a very high young population. We need to take our kids off the street. Today, drug addiction is becoming an issue in Liberia. It's the next war that we have to fight. Our children are turning to zombies because we say an adult mind is the devil's workshop. These children have no constructive opportunities available to them. And so they are falling by the wayside. They're falling through the cracks. They're finding a solution in the wrong direction. And most of our young boys and girls are today on drugs. It's a sad thing. If you enter the streets of Liberia, any county capital, you enter the streets at night, your heart will break at the level of degradation of our young children. On drugs, prostitution, all these vices are increasing because our government, our public sector has not provided adequate opportunity for our children. We want to change that when we get in the legislature, when we get in the Senate. As a mother, I want to give the opportunity that my children had to reach the level they've reached in education and self-advancement. If the children of Nimba have that, I can bet you we're going to have astronauts, we're going to have mechanical engineers and engineers of all types, because they're smart, they just don't have the opportunities. And so there's so many, there are litany of issues that continue to plague our county that makes me want to say, you know what, I'm going to go there. We need to straighten this up. And more than that, we need to have our women voices heard. We need a representation. Every elected or every Congress or legislature should be representative of the population. Nimba Legislative Caucus is not representative of the Nimba population. Where are the women? Where are the different tribes? Where are the different groups of people that live in Nimba? We need to make sure that the Nimba Legislative Caucus is representative of the citizens, and the women faces and voices must be heard. It must be on there. And the good thing is, Alfonso, the women of Nimba are bent on making that change in this election. We will be heard. Our issues will be factored in this election. I hope you're there.
We have it, folks. We are having the Honorable, the former Superintendent of the Nimba County, Madam Edith Gongloe, is our special guest here. We're going to be taking a quick, let's take a quick commercial break and see what they can reposition. Mike Dan, please make sure to reposition while we take the quick commercial break and make sure that we have the superintendent, and hopefully I can just be right there and we can do it. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Let me take the quick break.
Diaspora informative news platform Liberia Public Radio LPR presents Freedom Watch with Alfonso Ziensot. On Freedom Watch, we hold national leaders, opposition, and the general public accountable for words by asking tough questions in exchange for real-time answers. No one walks away free by providing false information. If it's from LPR and A Ziensot, it got to be good. Be my guest every Sunday live on LPR TV from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV.
Alfonso Ziensot for the Liberia Public Radio based in the U.S. I currently visit the entire. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Visit the entire. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, there you have it. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Today, our studio guest is the former superintendent of Nimba County, Madam Edith Gongloe, is seeking for one of the highest political office for Nimba County. Is on her way to Capitol building. So let's see here. We hopefully we can have the superintendent back here. Mike, please fix the microphone. I see the microphone here muted from my end. Mike, can you please open the microphone, please? Madam Superintendent, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
The microphone, but yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, Mike, he needs to open the microphone. Just hold on. Let me just get a message. Okay. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, not through the mic though.
Okay. Let's see here.
I'm hearing you on the screen, but not through the microphone.
Okay. Let's see. Hopefully. I'm not sure. Mike, let me hold on one second. Mike, I'm not sure what all you need to do to have that properly connected instead of it being giving that sort of feedback. So, Mike, please work on. I'm Alfonso Ziensot. Just bear with us here, folks. We'll be back. Let me just take this. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Hopefully, folks, just bear with us here. Okay, let me just bring the superintendent, Madam Edith Gongloe, is in studio in Morovia. Madam Superintendent, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I think it's much better. Folks, just bear with us here. Even though getting further, but that is much better. Okay, so let's talk here. This seems to be you. I'm not sure you are the only female candidate in this race here. So talk to me a little bit. Is there any lesson learned the last time around? Now that you think it is being fixed?
Well, certainly so. Like I said in context, our last two elections, one of the weakest links that we had was the issue of pool observers. That's something that we've learned, and we are working towards that and making sure that this time around, every pool is going to be watched by our representatives that are trusted. And so that's one lesson learned. Another lesson learned from last election is that it's not over until it's over, so you don't get comfortable. There is no weak candidate in any political race as far as I'm concerned. And so we, as much as we have good level of confidence, we are not overly confident to dismiss anybody or discount anybody. Everyone has his strength, and we recognize that.
Okay, and the recognize that that's quite interesting. Um, Recently, like you alluded, Senator Prince Yomi Johnson made a comment with one of your opponents. I want to get your political take. You're smiling. Uh, Talking about Ta Wongbe. He is a stranger, and this guy, I'm sorry to say, they always try to incite themselves for some sort of political drama, for of distraction. Taiwan is a stranger. He lifted the hands of Jeremiah Cohn. Now audio is surfacing that Jeremiah Cohn is involved in bribery. That is huge. But unfortunately, the Liberians electorate, the Nimba electorate, the Liberian electorate, they don't listen to this stuff here. How do you intend when the campaign kicks off? For example, a senatorial debate. How can you set yourself apart or make an argument for Nimayans to understand exactly to what the superintendent is saying and the reason why she wants to go on Capitol Hill?
Well, first of all, I don't distract myself with all these different comments coming from the senator. I am more concerned about the issues that are important to the people of Nimba and why the people of Nimba have consistently called on me to participate in these elections. That's what matters to me. It's not who said what about who and why. Having said that, you talked about why I want to be senator for the people of Nimba. Was that the question?
Yeah, that was there. Yeah.
Okay. I think we've said this over and over again. The first instance is that
all right, folks, just bear with us. Okay, let me see here. Not Mike. Please monitoring. I'm not getting her audio through here. Something is not going on right there. So just monitor her audio here, folks. Let's see here. I'm not sure what other. Let me get word today. Okay, we just lose a signal with them. They're going to be joining us here. That Madam Edith Gongloe, the former superintendent of Nimba County, Republic of Liberia, is joining us here this afternoon from studio in Liberia. Just bear with us. The internet service there is, these are some of the things that we are talking about that we need significant improvement into the process in Liberia, and this is what we should be doing to hold all of these those who seeking political offices, to hold them responsible. Let us know exactly their intention, why they don't want to be city mayor, why they don't want to be superintendent, even though those positions are always appointed by the executive branch of government, why they don't want to serve in different roles, that they want to hold these high political profile. When Madam Traore joins us back, we will be asking her more questions with respect to the current salary rate and what she intends to do, what has her plan to work in the interest of the people of Nimba, not just only for her own political curiosity or her political institution. Would there be a time that she would disagree with a party? These are all valid questions that we need to know, we need to ask. So just bear with us. Soon they join us here, we'll be able to get them back here. I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned. Let's see here. While we still have Madam Traore here, let's see if we can give you a little entertainment here to take you to Nimba County in the meanwhile as well, and then we can be right back. Stay tuned. I'm Alfonso Z and so.
Durabo mayo yo ya o yo ya dede yo ya yes ya garane yo ya garane durabo mayo ye garane ma ye garana yo ya garane durabo mayo na me ko yin so me ya yin so yu bu ba nu ka kwen yo ya garane durabo mayo ya yo ga o ba nu sali e wo ka kwen wa yo ya garane durabo mayo yo ya o Mama wakadu nsuo ekmere yakon yadwe yadu ye yadwe me yo ake ya dogyawa ye yo o kapoya ye yo o ukan yadwe yo for your yas, ya got like when I live here, Kakamai. Aye, you are ya, Kakagay. Uban Salio, Blugap Mel. Cano Kaka, let go good ball. Marco talk about. If one will never come, what I'm a pioneer, get the mirror by me. We are Kakam. Say my time. Cabamel Sade, have a registration, me a time here. Zoop, Zach. You are ya, you are ya.
Just bear with us, folks. That's the beauty of Liberia. Internet, I don't care how much you pay for a month. It is why it is. These are some of the things that we need to fix. Let's just entertain you a little bit. We hope to open the phone lines if it really works in our favor. Yeah, we just intend to take her to our own county, Nimba County, and that is gospel artist Jimamant Walker there making a contribution. I'll be putting the number out here as usual. Whether it is Nimba, if it's Grand Jida bombing here, it is all about Liberia, because when Nimba produces a good senator or representative, the benefits it goes to Liberia. That's the bottom line. So I'm going to be putting the number out here so you can express your concern. Hopefully the problem there is fixed. And then you want to welcome Mr. James Gombiant, a veteran journalist. Here, we are talking about his own county here this evening. So hopefully he's going to chip in. All right. That's the number right there, just in case you are in Liberia and you also want to participate. It's on WhatsApp or any parts of the world, and that's a regular phone number, just in case you have something to express. Yet, let's see here. I believe the superintendent is back with us. Let's see here. We want to honestly apologize here. Let me just bring her on here. I believe she's back with us. That's the beauty of Liberia, and that's why we want real men and women to go in parliament to fix some of these things there. Madam Superintendent, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. This is the reason why we want men and people that with vision to go on Capitol Hill so that we'll stop this sort of eruptions of internet when we're having our national leaders and people are monitoring here. We honestly apologize, but this is part of what you are going to do, and hopefully the people of Nimba, in their good judgment, will look out of the candidates and make a sound decision to get this going. Okay, so let me ask you, Madam Superintendent here. I haven't seen everybody go in there more or less. They are on the agendas of their parties. Whatever their party says, that's what they go with. They don't see themselves people to represent their constituent. They don't see themselves as people that were elected. They tend to pivot in the directions of the executive, whether they are a member of the ruling party or not. So tell us here, and let's turn this camera off here. If the people of Nimba County give you a chance, are you going there for Liberty Party, or are you going there to represent all of the land, breadth, the client, the districts, towns, and villages of the people of Nimba County?
I would like to boldly say all of the above, and here is why I say that. Liberty Party is a party that is built on the interest of the people, is built on the protection and advancement of the rule of law. And if rule of law becomes the central piece of your party philosophy, then all of the things that protect the interest of our people fall in that rule of law. Of course, agriculture will be factored in that. So is education, making sure that education becomes a right of the people and not privilege. Making sure that adequate and affordable health care is a right of the people and not privilege. These are all things that our legal system help us to protect by our Constitution. And so I am representing the Liberty Party, at the same time representing the basic needs of our people in the county at all levels. We are making sure that our people are united. A unified Nimba will even be a stronger Nimba. There's a reason why all the 5 tribes exist in Nimba. Our strength is in our diversity. And it is that diversity that we want to strengthen, that we want to protect, that we want to maintain. And so going into the Senate, I'm going for the interest of the people. As a senator, you become the servant of your people, and your people are your employers. So as an employer, if your employee violate the rules, you give them warning letters and then followed by dismissal. I don't want to receive warning letters from my people, let alone being dismissed. And so we're going to make sure that what matters to the people of Nimba is what are the things that we are going to advocate for in the Senate.
Okay, let me ask this rhetorical question here. Is there any? Do you have any? Would there be any point in time that you would disagree with your party?
Of course, like I said, if my party that is built on the rule of law, that is built on the interest of the citizens, if at any time my party deviates from the very values that have brought me into this party, if at any time my party substantially deviate from that, we are going to bring our party to book on that and say, look, this is not the party that I joined. This is not the philosophy that attracted me to the Liberty Party. So if you deviate from the philosophies, the political philosophies and ideals that attracted me to the party or attracted the party to me, then I am going to be making it clear. And the people of Liberty Party know that I'm somebody who does not mince her words when it comes to values, when it comes to virtues, when it comes to integrity and character. Those are things that I don't compromise. And so what we say we stand for is what we're going to do, because that's how people trust, that's how people build trust in you. So we have a trusting relationship as a political party and partisans. And we believe that the party is going to live up to those ideals, just as we, the partisans, are going to support those ideals in whatever direction. In my case, as an aspirant and a senator, if I'm elected, which I believe I will be, those are the things that we're going to be upholding and holding our party, to those values.
Okay, so we get a tradition here. We want to give Liberians and hopefully Nimayans that are listening here the opportunity to also interact, to ask all of their questions or some of their questions. Not all, we can't answer all here today. It's not possible to on planet Earth. What do you make of this salary issue with Senator? And before that, let me just ask you, will you be like one of those here, if you like to just sit in Morovia, they don't go back to their people to have consultation, recess our men, break our men to go for consultation with the people and see what is happening? They don't have no offices in their constituencies. They sit in Morovia, they are paying for it, they are giving money for it, they are giving gas, they don't go to their county, they know the roads are bad, they are not willing to talk across party line. Madam, where if elected, where you have an office in Nimba County, even when you are in Morovia, that Nimaya don't have to come, and that's one of the reasons, Madam Superintendent, Capitol Building almost looks like government and market, because they don't go to the people. If you can't go to the people, then they have to come to you. That's the problem that they have, and they don't understand why the people come and why the people. Yes, when you have break or when you have an office in your district or in your administrative town or whatever, where people can go and sit there and talk to their lawmaker or senator or representative or communicate, it will minimize the coming of the people. But they don't go there. Break, they don't go there. They recess, they don't go there for anything. So the people are forced to come to Morovia. Let's get a record straight here. Where you have a standing office under the watch, if elected by the people of Nimba County as senator.
Not to bore you, but to tell you we've even started in our community engagement. Every community we set up structure, and what we intend to do with those structures is to transform those structures into our political sub-offices within not just the districts, within even clans and within chiefdoms. The reason is that the people must be close, they should remain in contact with their leaders. They should feel close and connected to their leaders. Unless you're connected to your people, you can never know their plight. You can never know the things that they need. Monrovia is not going to be my base. Here's what I've even said, interestingly. I have a home in Ganta, and I've said over and over, I think I'm going to live in Ganta and come to work in Monrovia every day. Since it takes about 2.5 to 3 hours drive, I'm going to live in Ganta and come to Monrovia. But more than that, we Nimbayans, this is something not just exclusively me. Nimbayans love their county. Almost every successful Nimbayan that I know here in Liberia has a home, has a house in their village or somewhere in Nimba. And so Nimba is where I reside right now. Camping aside, I love the place and I love my people. So I'm going to be with my people. Like I said, being their senator is being their servant. And being a servant means that you have to take your cues, your directives, and everything from your leaders. The people are the leaders, not just that the such is enshrined in our Constitution, But rightfully so, and ideally, any democracy, the power is inherent in the people. And we must respect that as leaders. And we must live by it. We must act like it. It is sad when elected officials see themselves as people who the people should serve instead of them serving the people. That will not be part of and is not part of my philosophy. What we started when we were superintendent, when I was superintendent, I was a superintendent of the people. I was a consensus building superintendent. I was the superintendent who took my cues from the layman in the village, from the town chief, from the clown chief, from the paramount chief. I was not telling them this is what you have to do. I was telling them, what do we do in this case? Bring your ideas. There are no bad ideas, because in order for you to accept and appreciate what we have, you have to take ownership. To take ownership, you have to see yourself as the decision maker, not decisions being forced upon you. So to answer your short question, definitely having offices in all of the districts and having these clusters that we've created functional when we become senators, so that we know exactly what the needs of our people are, so that we are appropriately advocating for that at the national level. And I should also say this is not just limited to Nimba. My vying for this position is not just for Nimba, because senators make decisions, policies, and legislations that impact the country in general. One of such things is, take for instance, the confirmation of leaders in the executive, confirmation of ministers and deputy ministers and directors and all of that. We must ensure that those people are properly vetted, so that services that our people need, such as health care. Under my watch, as a participating senator, we're going to make sure whoever becomes health minister or whoever becomes agriculture minister is up to the task and can live up to the ideals and the philosophies that brought those institutions into power, to make sure the citizens of our county and all the other counties benefit from the budget that they get every year. To do that is to exercise that oversight and making sure, not just giving the poor the budget, by the end of the year, make sure that what was given was appropriately used for its intended purpose. So I'm not going to be a Monrovia senator. I'm not going to be an America senator. I'm not going to be a fly around senator. I'm going to be a senator that lives in the villages with the people every time we have a break or weekend.
Okay, all right. We just want to make sure we have all of these, kind of like conversation here. I don't want to get ahead of the shadow here, but I wouldn't be surprised when satisfied by NEC and facing potential voters of Nimba and Liberia. This is a very consequential issue. It's unfolding on Capitol Hill there. And I know, Nimba County is predominantly, you have the Mandingos, they are part of that county. Here we are talking now, you're hearing saying on Capitol Hill, they are asking for their holiday. There must be a holiday given to the Muslim community. Is there any thought process? Anything come to mind? What would be your decision on that?
Look, I don't preempt any decision. That's something that you need to sit around the table with the people and ask, what are those holidays that you're requesting? And what are the other comparative holidays? We talk about citizens' rights being protected and their values be respected. If this is a value situation, there needs to be an honest conversation around that. And so I will not sit in studio here and say, this is what I'm going to do, without knowing what are those specifics that are being requested and how do they intend for that to, be addressed. So that's something that calls for a serious dialogue among the competing parties. What are the available holidays and what holidays do they want, stuff like that. I don't have the details, and so I wouldn't want to dive into such issue right now.
All right, so that's how politicians handle issue until they can get there. what is the preferred salary that Madam Edith Gongloe will prefer to earn, considering the high economic constraint in the country there? We don't even know precisely the official website of the legislative branch of government. You can't see anything when you ask. They say go to finance. When you ask finance say go to budget. When you ask budget say go to this. This is ridiculous. You were here, and we prefer to be a smart America, and everything seems to be in darkness. Will you champion some of these causes here, these apprehension? And that's one of the reasons people are creating conspiracy theory, because if they can't get the information, they will be forced to put anything out there in a bid to get it.
Precisely, you're right about that. We have to have an open system in this country, because I learned a long time ago that openness, transparency curbs corruption. Anything that is done in secrecy has the propensity to, be corrupted, for lack of a better word. And so I think the legislative budget and the senatorial salaries, including salaries of representatives, should not be something that people have to jump through the hoops to get. There should be a website, just like you said, that by the click of the button, you know exactly how much each lawmaker is making, their annual salary. That should be there. Right now, if you click on if you just click Google, and you Google salaries of Congress, for instance, American lawmakers or any country,
you get it.
Literally, you will get that. We cannot be an exception for bad things. In this 21st century, it makes no sense that you're telling me now, and which I know is true, you have to go through different chains of command to get something that legitimately you deserve to know. It is your right to know how much you are paying your lawmakers. We are paying them, so it is your right to know that. And so that's something that we're going to advocate for, an open budget, an open, legislature, an open Senate, that nothing will be done in secret.
Okay, we always get our questions from our few as well. Let me just put this here. He's your own Nimayans based in the Ocean State. Emmanuel T.S. says, Madam Gongloe, are you part of the CPP? Ta Wongwei is a member of the same collaboration. So the both of you are running. You do not think you do not think it will be important that one of you back up? And if this doesn't come out, will you be willing to back? There you have it.
That's an interesting question. Like I said from the very beginning here at FANSO, I said politics is local, and this election is about many issues. And one of the major issues in this election is ensuring that there's some semblance of gender equity in our legislative politics of Nimba. You have a county with 50.2% of its citizens being women, and all of our lawmakers, all 9 representatives are men, all 2 senators are men. The question becomes who answer to some of the issues that are gender specific, some of the issues that affect just women. No man has been pregnant before. So you don't know what bearing, you don't know what labor is about. You just don't know. But a woman must be there to champion these causes, because by experience, I know what it is to be pregnant, and I know what it is to be in labor and to work hours to go to maybe a health center that has a certified midwife. I know what it is. I know what pain it is. No man has ever experienced that. So who can better champion these causes? This is why you need to have a balance of gender in our public space, even in the Supreme Court, in the judiciary, our justices. It is no mistake that you have 2 women there, because there are issues that from the gender landscape, the women can bring better perspective than the men would. And then collectively they can have a decision that satisfy all of the gender questions that will not marginalize men or marginalize women. In our case, our women are being marginalized. So this question is not a question about who gives way. It's the question about what are the issues on the table here. So
Yes,
if we
Mr.
take
B.
these issues as they are, very important, then this question would not even be asked. It would not be about who can give way. Again, let's look at our records. Leadership of any type, especially in our political space, is really about your record. It's about integrity. It's about character. It's about what you've done in your past. You don't just jump out today and become an advocate. It's something that you build up over the years. And I can tell you, as a young woman going to college, fighting for social justice causes were part of my extracurricular activities. So I didn't just start advocacy today. It is something that has become second nature. It's something that is ingrained. And if I see injustice anywhere in my county, I will speak up against it. And I think this is one of the gross injustices we have in our county, excluding our women. I tell the men, then there's no need to send your girls to school. It's about time you just send them on a farm. There's no need to educate your girls. If you think that they're not worthy of sharing a public space with the men, then don't educate them. Because education also culminates into leadership of all types. It can be leadership in the private sector. It can be leadership in the public sector. But there will be leadership. So you are telling our people today significantly that the Nimba women should go sit down. Don't go to school. Don't go to school. So this election is about many things. And I think people must be honest with themselves here. We have to be honest with ourselves here. There's too many things at stake in Nimba that we cannot take for granted. And this election is a deciding election that will make sure some of these issues are addressed and addressed well.
We want to welcome Dustin Brahma is one of our followers based in the provincial city of Banyamanta, Lofa County. Madam Superintendent here, one of the things that gave our headache here is this code of conduct that calls for a clear declaration of people assets. Are you willing, if certified by NEC, for Madam Superintendent to come out in public? This is the value of Edith Gongloe. This is what I'm taking in Senate. And if I'm getting that way, when I get there, you will know when I'm coming back. Is that something you're willing to take that political risk to declare, to make a full declaration of your assets?
Of course. And any public official, there should be no argument about this. If you're going into the public space with clear conscience, you should be able, not without any question, not even waiting to be asked, you should declare your asset. That's one of the foundation for fighting graft. People come with nothing, and within 1 or 2 years, they become millionaires. The question is, how did you arrive at this point? Just yesterday, you had nothing. So me, as an advocate of transparency and as an advocate of good governance, as an advocate of making sure that the public trust is respected, declaration of asset is a must, and it's something that we're going to adhere to from the very first day. It's like hitting the ground running. Even before we are certified as a senator to take our seat, our asset declaration will already be in before that day. I can tell you that. We've already worked on that. And every official, I encourage every public official, because look, the world is getting selfish to a large extent. If we don't take care of our country, who's going to take care? We need to stop the economic leakage of our country. It is not helping. It has not helped, and it will never help. So we have to guide against it. We have to make sure that those we trust in our public spaces with our public funds must be people who have the record, who have the character, and who have the transparency under their belt, who can steward the county and the country in the right direction by declaring their asset and making sure what is the public's remains with the public and what is yours remain with you. You asked about the issue of the salary. I have said this long ago that we're going to proffer a legislation in that Senate once we are there. There has to be a standardized salary across the board that is not just commensurate with your work, but that make common sense with the economic situation of our country. How in the world, what sense does it make that you live in a country where people living on less than $1 a day, and then you have lawmakers making $8,000 to $10,000 or $12,000 or whatever a month, beside other immunities? It's crazy.
Their argument, and this is a lazy argument, and it pains my heart. Not to interrupt you, Madam Superintendent. One of them came here the other day. One of your groupie here came here and said, "Yeah, because they no work, so we make the money and give out." And you are not there to give.
It makes no sense. Don't make the money and give it to the people. Provide the opportunity for the people to make their own money. That money you taking should be put into the health budget. That money you taking should be put into education budget. That money you taking should be put into the infrastructure and road construction budget. Because when our roads are constructed, our farmers will have easy access to the market, and they can sell, and the proceeds they can buy their own bags of rice. They wouldn't be trooping to your house to ask you for a bag of rice. But we've strangulated our society. We've strangulated our people. We've kept them poor and uneducated, so they become our bank, and then they come trooping to us, and we think we give them peanuts of their money, and they go clapping and blessing us. It has to stop. It can only stop if we as public officials can be honest with ourselves, not just the declaration of asset, but also making sure that the resources of this country are adequately used by the citizens of this country. Take, for instance, ArcelorMittal. I mean, I didn't want to go into this, but you have an agreement that was signed since 2005 and then revised in 2006, and it has not been reviewed. But the Mineral Development Agreement, it needed to be reviewed every 5 years. How do we checkmate these people to know whether they are keeping up with what they sign up to do? We are inadvertently or knowingly abusing our citizens by not doing what is right for them. We need to stop that. And this is one of the things for me that compels me every time when I sit and think, this election is not about me. I can care less about the title called senator. I can care less about being called honorable. I want to do honorable things that will benefit the children of Nimba and the children of Liberia. We cannot continue to do the same thing over and over and expect different results. We have to change. The world is not waiting for us. We have to change. Look today, IT it's almost like unknown in Liberia on the scale of it. Why today children are graduating from college without even knowing the keyboards or even touching it? And we think that this is a country that we should be proud of. Because our lawmakers, not just the lawmakers, our entire governance system has continued to put the lives and the welfare of our people at risk, because for them, it doesn't matter. A wealth of one individual is not wealth at all. If everyone around you is poor and you are rich, you think you're rich, even your life is at risk because all of your surroundings are poor. Why these people don't see the bigger picture? Why don't we see the bigger picture? It is this bigger picture for me that compels me all of the time to say some group of people have to be here that show the way, that can be a difference. Like Gandhi said way back then, be the change you want to see in the world. So if we want to see that change, Edith Gongloe wants to see the change. She's going to lead that change. And so declaration of asset and living with my people are some of the changes that I want to see, and those are the changes I'm going to live.
All right, in 10 minutes we'll be wrapping up here. James Tier is one, Emmanuel Tier is one of our regular followers, and that's the beauty of the Liberia Public Radio. No insult, world engaged conversations with civility. Yeah, then there comes James Emmanuel Tier. Say, Madam Gongloe, if you are elected as a senator, what will be your first bill that will be in the interest of our people. Please, I am not against your candidacy. Just want to hold you accountable tomorrow. Is that a fair question, you think?
It's certainly a fair question. One of my first bill is to ensure I'm going to proffer a bill that asks or that demand subsidy to our farmers. We need that. We cannot say we are an independent country and we cannot feed ourselves. Alfonso, the hands that feed you control you. And if we cannot feed ourselves, that's a national security issue. What if the people, it is. We are insecure. The people who feed us decide what to give us. And the fact that in our country here, standard is an issue. People are not checking what's coming in the way they should. And so it bothers me, it worries me every day, and that's one of the first bills that I'm going to proffer so that our agricultural sector becomes a viable sector, that our country can feed itself and minimize the importation of rice, divert that money that people are using to import rice into other services in our country.
Okay, so in your exploratory process, we have been following you closely, and we have talked to people behind the scene here. One of the things that is a concern, like you alluded, that there are different tribes that are part of Nimba County. It's just like any other county. And one of the people that feel so vulnerable, rejected, denounced, and kind of been outcast is the people from Babli district. They found themselves like a piece of cloth between the scissors. They called in, what about terrorizing crime? When they go to Grand Gita, Labor, they are different people. So as a result, they become like an orphanage group of people just in the middle of two places and just do not have a rightful standing. Evidence of that is your own senator, Senator Prince Johnson, because I had an interview. Then Dora Cooper, who was now contesting, Peter Campbell was appointed as superintendent. Well, they said that was their political arrangement. But he come out to say the man is not a Nimba man. I asked Jeremiah Kuhn, Representative Kuhn, could not address himself to that. Thomas Guppy, as a sitting senator here, he was on this network here. He could not even denounce the actions of the senior senators of Nimba County, who I still strongly believe, that's my view. And it is not meant to get you in trouble, Madam Superintendent, but still in this war mongering here of the 90s, and they're not willing to let people go forward. It not being me. Okay, we know that. But we are in the 21st century. The people of Nimba, the people of Grand Gita, and the people of Liberia have the right to play and elect competent people that will represent them. That is not happening. This is a disturbing thing, and sometimes when we see these things outplaying here. Your reaction?
Look, let me tell you, first of all, it's not just the people of Babli, and it breaks my heart. In any society, the dominant culture must accommodate the minority culture for there to be peace. That is just the reality of life. In the absence of accommodation, there will definitely be conflict. So one of the best things to do, and one of the red flags or early warning signs, is when people start to feel marginalized. That's an early warning sign. When people start to feel marginalized, they start to feel left out, it's not a good sign. So we have to do everything to make everyone feel a part of the Nimba puzzle. Nimba is not Nimba without the crime element of Nimba. Nimba cannot be what it is today without the B and Doru people, the B people and the Doru people. Nimba is not Nimba without the Mandingo elements. And so we have to make sure all of these different tribal groups are incorporated into our development agenda and into our leadership agenda. That's something that I worked on even when I was superintendent. This one, I begged a son of Babli at the time when the assistant superintendent for development, who was my assistant superintendent at the time, resigned. I begged a son of Babli. I said, I'm ready to recommend you for appointment. He just didn't want to go back in the county. And the reason why I wanted a son of Babli was because I felt that as citizens of Nimba, they must have their eyes and ears also at the county, in the county administration. for them to feel confident and feel accepted and feel a part. So this question you're asking is, by my life, I've done more than that. And probably people can bear me out. I am somebody who is strapless when it comes to my approach to issues in our county. I don't care. I'm a man or woman, but it has nothing to do with whether I'm man or Gyo or Pele or Bas or whatever. As long as you're in the territorial boundaries of Nimba, you're a citizen of Nimba and you deserve every right and every benefit that belongs to Nimba County. Recently, there was a situation in Kpabli. I'm not in any leadership position. I'm not in government. But by my intervention, we're able to arrest that peacefully. There was the situation with Burkinabes coming to Kpabli in their community forest.
Right.
And I heard about it. Immediately I heard about it, I pushed all the buttons that I could push because I felt that a portion of my county was threatened. It didn't have to be in Yahweh Mesno where I come from. I could have said, well, I'm not the superintendent, you'll go to the superintendent. Or I'm not your senator, you'll go to the senator. I'm not your representative, go to the representative. I am a stakeholder as far as I'm concerned. I'm a leader within Nimba. And so I moved in, and because of my presence, ask any public person, even ask Steve Quay in America, my presence was able to bring the entire crisis to a halt. And today it is resolved. And the people in Yopie, Old Town, are living peacefully together. Several other issues. When I took over Glanstown, B and Doru was like a no-go zone, literally. One day I went to visit B and Doru, and a pregnant girl in labor was to be taken to Tapeta Hospital because there was no clinic in the entire district since the formation of Nimba in 1964. What did I do? Before I left as superintendent, a clinic was erected in Glanstown, and today it has been modernized. And so my leadership has no boundary. I think that our people should come together. Our people should be respected as citizens of Nimba, whether they cry, whether they be. There is no half citizen of Nimba. All citizens of Nimba are whole citizens of Nimba, whether they are different tribe. We have Manon people who are also, we have our origin from Guinea. We got Manon people across the border from Ganta who are in Guinea. So should we say, since Manon people are in Guinea, then Manon people in Nimba are now from Nimba? We have our Gyo brothers and sisters who are also across the border in Ivory Coast. So should we say, since you have Gyo people in Ivory Coast, then the Gyo people are not Gyo? So we can't say because you have crying Grand Jide and crying Nimba, then it means the crying people in Nimba are not from Nimba. I don't think it makes any peaceful sense. In order to maintain the peace that we have to coexist. And to coexist, you must respect everyone's right to exist as who they are, as the citizens that they are.
I'm not a guy who can usually validate politicians, talking point. But from what I see here, and your sincerity is being so expressed in terms of the manner in which you answer it and talking to us here, I have no reservations that you are really up for the task to the people of Nimba County. But that voting power is within them. You serve as a superintendent for them. And so many roles you play. What will happen, Madam Superintendent, if the people of Nimba County, and this is just for discussion purposes, say, well, we're not going to listen to this woman here, and this is what that gets me annoyed with the Liberian voters. They don't look for the best. They don't aim for quality. We are always in this business of obituary. Oh, if I knew it yesterday, I would have done this. You knew it, and you deliberately on purpose because you want, like you said, you want this piece of zinc. We know how things are hard. I didn't even know the presence of Burkinabe in Nimba. My own county, Grand Jide, is infested with Burkinabe. And when we call some of our lawmakers, the only thing they tell us is ECOWAS, but they are not even looking at the security implications. Yes, how many Liberians have gone there to get accommodation? We want everybody.
And Alfonso, this is what I say all of the time to our foreign guests and friends. What is not permissible in your country, what is not allowed in your country, don't do it here. Our issue is not that foreigners should not come to Liberia, but when you come, there's pathway, Just like we go to America and there's a pathway to citizenship, a pathway to legalization, there has to be a pathway. Somebody cannot just come yesterday and start to make farming your forest. You will not do that. You will not be allowed to do that in Ivory Coast. You will not be allowed to do that in Burkina Faso.
Exactly.
So what is not permissible in other countries must not be permissible in our country. Today, like I tell people all of the time, I feel our sovereignty is under attack, serious attack. Sorry to say this on the international wire. Today you have Ghanaians, you have Nigerians, you have Chinese that have spread themselves into our forest. They are mining our gold and diamond and bauxite and any mineral you can imagine unchecked. Unchecked. They come by the way of the ocean. They enter the tributaries with smaller boats with their mining devices that detect minerals, and they start to dredge our rivers. I have spoken about this issue at the national level. I have gone to ministries that have the statutory responsibility for this, and I've asked these ministers, what is happening? And you know what have been some of the answers to me? If this is not just in Nimba, it's happening all over Liberia. We don't have the budget to put people in the field. So then I feel that our sovereignty is under attack. And I have gone as far as telling our citizens, at least in my part of the district, that look, if you see any fishing movement of foreigners, you see them on our waterways, you see them dredging, if you are able to confiscate what they have, do it and seek government attention in doing that. Because tomorrow we will have nothing. We have to preserve and protect the territorial integrity of our country, of our county, and I have no apology for saying what I'm saying. I have no apology for doing what I'm doing because it hurts me. It hurts me that people take advantage of our country the way they do. It hurts.
Look, I think there will come a time we will come from out of our share because we have an obligation. If the Nimba people, we have a lot of friends, and we will echo this. If the Nimba people fails to understand, because the Thai one way and all of that, we have reached out to them and everybody, all of them, not exception. I have a message, I have a stuff here to pull. I was blocking you, you were out of a network, but once you get back, you were always able to communicate. And that's part of the test of a leadership. You want to hold state power, and some of them, the very opposition of the government, that's what gets me annoyed. They are selective. They choose where to go because they think that they're based. It's not like that. This is Liberia. So I have the right to meld in the political process of Nimba County, in Grand Bassa County, in Lofa County, because why? I want the best of Liberia to unfold. So the Nimba people of Nimba, I don't know. If you're from on planet Earth, if you cannot listen to some of your leaders who are willing to come forward to enter all, and you decide to go the way you want to go again, that's it. Madam Superintendent, are you willing, if Liberia Public Radio were to put a debate in place here with qualified, you guys are expiring now, but when certified by NEC, are you willing to stand side by side with Thomas Groupie, Tar One Way, or whoever they're going to be qualified, to look in your eyes and tell them your uniqueness or what sets you apart from them for which you are vying for this position? Are you willing to do that?
You bet I am. That's what I want. Because a debate, political debate, helps our electorate to know where our hearts are. That's the only opportunity they have to really critically critique us and assess who we are. Because, of course, God hates our hearts. But what comes out of your mouth and your action have a way of displaying what your mind is. And so that's an opportunity that I'm looking forward to. That's an opportunity that I crave so that we can look each other in the eyes and tell each other what makes me different from you and why I believe I'm the best at this particular time in our country history when things are going haywire. We need to put some checks and balances in place here. And we can only do that if we have the political space to do that. Like I've told my people, I can be all the advocate you think I should be. But if I don't have the political power to implement some of what I believe in so dearly, and some of the things I do, I would just be another noisemaker, like some leaders like to call, people who advocate on behalf of their people, that these are noisemakers. Then I become just one of the noisemakers. I don't want to be a noisemaker. I want to be a noisemaker that has results, that I will not just make noise, but noise that I will make sure there are actions that follow the noise that I make. And those will be legitimate actions, and there will be legislative and senatorial action that will benefit the citizens of Liberia in general, not just Nimba.
All right, Madam Superintendent, the old man on the wall clock has time has caught up with us here, but I guarantee you are still going through the process. Of course, that is a normal thing. But we are hoping after NEC has gone through her process to certify candidate, which I have no doubt, hopefully you'll be one of those. Then I know you are on your way to Capitol Hill, and then we're going to come back here, and at that time the glove's going to be off now, because you are heading Capitol Hill. And people that are going to Capitol Hill, I'm not too friendly with them because of the behaviors of the other people there, so it leaves me with no trust. What would be your last word here, especially to the people of Nimba County? They are huge here in the diaspora. They have voice, they have authority on what's going to be unfolding here. What would be your last message, or what do you think I wish I would talk about? I didn't talk about. You want to try to tell my audience?
Please give me 5 minutes to give my last word to the people of Nimba across the world.
Absolutely.
Here's what I've told my people, and I'm saying it on this international wire. This election is not about bag of rice or cement. They don't develop. Maybe people don't know how our legislative system works. The lawmakers that you elect, the senators that you elect, the representatives that you elect, there's something called the budget, and they have these committees. They have the statutory mandate to ensure that Nimba County and all other counties have their fair share from the national cake, that those monies that are put aside in the budget appropriation period will be used for road construction, can be used for education, like school construction and training of teachers and all of that. That's what they should be advocating for. That's why our national budget currently has been increased to 535 million United States dollars. We must make sure that Nimba has its fair share of that $535 million, so that our road from Ganta to Tapeta and to Grand Jide will be fixed. Today is a sad story in Nimba. We are all living behind the mud, and yet we have committees in the legislature, in the Senate, that oversee our budget, that should make sure our roads are reconstructed, our roads are built, and they're pliable so that our people can survive. Today, tens and thousands of people are dying in Nimba because of the road condition. I am saying this to you people. This coming election should be an election that you look at the substantive side of people. You look at their values. You look at their, not just the platform, not just the written platform, but look at people's history, what they've done. It's not what they say. There are people who come with the charade and come with all these big false news because they believe that our society is a gullible society. Tell them anything and they will believe it. I am telling you people, be the watchdogs for your people. Don't just hear people talk in the millions and you think that they are being truthful. People are scammers, they're liars, and we must be critical thinkers and check their backgrounds thoroughly before we give them our power. Because by electing people, what you're doing is transfer of power. You're telling your elected officials that this is the power that I have. I'm giving it to you to act on my behalf. And you better give it to the right person whose mind is in the right place, so that the right decisions will be taken for your children and your unborn children. Alfonso, I want to tell you thank you for having me on this platform. I want to have more of this type of engagements because we need to educate our people. It is sad. As I'm educating people on my journey in these community engagements, they are getting the awareness and the education, and I can tell anybody, I bet any lawmaker or any aspirant, you go in the county, you go in the towns and villages with your bags of rice, they will dance in front of you and eat it and not vote for you because I've educated my people and they know exactly what to look for in their leaders.
Well, we want to say a big thank you to our sister network, Nimba DTV, relaying this broadcast here. We hope I have never had a politician who was so succinct and articulative to the questions and going beyond. Look, the people of Nimba County, eh, uh, if, look, I don't want to say something on this level here because this thing here is enough, is just too much enough. And like the superintendent said, we have these overnight advocates, and they are just being driven by little bit thing, just trickle down. They think they just want to throw themselves into state power here. We all have obligations to make sure that Liberia, be it Nimba, Grandview, Maryland, to produce the best. Because of these people that we have who are now holding to our executive branch of government, are holding responsible because they are not doing their job. They are not doing their job. It doesn't mean when you're in the Senate, you can't question. They get their signing. They don't even make sure. They don't verify. That's a disgrace to our country. We need to elect people that have the ability to deliver. Madam Superintendent, I want to thank you so much. We are hoping to be in Liberia, and we will try to coordinate with Nimba DTV, and that's why we are pushing this debate. Some of them, they are afraid. They think they just want to get people a few hands out, and then these people are driven away. We have to expose them. We are in the 21st century.
And we are exposing them.
Oh,
we are exposing them. I tell them they have the money, I have the message. And let's see which one is more powerful. Whether it's the looted money or it's the strong message that we have for our people to teach them so that they know what decision to make, not just in this senatorial election, but in all other elections to come. Representative election, presidential election, we are going to be weeding out these fly-by-night advocates, these fly-by-night wealthy people. Leadership is not about wealth. You can have a wealthy person in a village or town who is not by nature a leader. And you can have a poor person who does not even have a goat or cow or whatever, who does not have a penny or bank account. But it's a leader. When they speak, the village is calm and the village is peaceful. So we're going to now pretty much sever this whole cartel of looting the wealth of this country and giving handouts to our people so that they give them more power. Their days are numbered, and I can tell them that's why I'm in this election, to make sure we can take all these gangsters out of our public space so that our people will have life, so that our people's future will be protected.
Well, that's the voice of the former superintendent of Nimba County, a daughter of Nimba County, Madam Edith Gongloe, making a first appearance on the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Madam Superintendent, if you have your support group here, anytime, let us know. We will always bring them here. I am in for the best. I don't care what people say. These people who are not genuine people, who are summertime people because they think of crisis, they want to just shove their way through to be senator Nimba, Lofa, Grandview. It's not going to happen. We have the obligation here to tell the people, even if they are making wrong choices. I think that's what we're supposed to be doing. I want to thank you so much and wish you luck and hope to have you here at another time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alfonso.
All right, we're going to take the superintendent home from a song from her own county by Minister Jemima Walker. I am a source of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. I've never interviewed politicians in recent times to be so articulative and be exactly to the point. If the people of Nimba County cannot give a second thought, then I don't know when this is going to happen. And this is how we want to take the superintendent home, taking her to our own county, Minister Jemima Walker, making a contribution here, right here on the Liberia Public Radio.
If I'm in Nimba County, what am I? Get the miracle.
Every county in Liberia, Grand G there from Mosorado to the last one, you need to give your county the best. It's not how you call it, some sort of political, it's not an exhibition. Don't just follow those people because you want to follow them. If you cannot produce the quality for your county and send them on Capitol Hill, and then you want to be blaming president, you want to blame the failed policies in Liberia, you two are freaking responsible. We need people with a long-term goal. Let me come here before we go here. I'm going to ask. Let me get here. Let me see. Let me just ask Mike down here. It's still in studio. Let me just bring in Mike down here. Mike, good afternoon. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get this audio. Are you there, Mike?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I have to put on my microphone. Sorry for that. And it was a pleasure talking to Madam Ware. I mean, it was, the leadership of at the level of the Capitol building. Like she said, one thing that I vividly recall is the inclusion of women into leadership, because they were during the former president era, the percentage was a bit higher, but as you speak now, many representation of women in the Capitol building, you can see it it continuing to suffer actually. So I mean, that's one thing that I really admire of her about her ascendancy to the leadership at the level of the Senate.
Look, Mike, I have to do that. You are a sons of Nimba, and we all, I will sit behind this microphone. This is why we want to keep stability in our thoughts. You have followed the politics of Nimba. I have interviewed politicians, especially within this phase of this senatorial race. In fact, to make it clear, we have extended invitation to Tower Wombe. You know, I hosted someone to be Jeremiah Kuhn, and the invitation we invited all football. There was 2 cancellations. Madam Ware kept to her promise. With the people within that belt, I can say vividly here that give it to her in terms of her message, the manner in which she responded to this question here. You tell me a little bit here about the politics of Nimba. It's always a surprise, always come. The guy who prefers to be the political godfather, Thomas Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, is he still going to be the factor that's part of these sort of voices and agenda we're coming from these people?
Definitely, Senator Johnson will not be a factor like you regularly heard on my program this afternoon from our correspondent. Senator Johnson in 2011, he was a serious factor for the matter of fact that he some of those candidates that he fielded, majority of them won the seats in Nimba. So in 2017, that record was not repeat. It didn't repeat itself. So taking into consideration that, definitely it means that his fame tried to somehow diminish, because politics is like a football game, Alfonso. Mind you, every season cannot be compared to all. For example, you used to hear George Weah, the famous George Weah was a footballer. He was a good footballer. He used to play, and then George Weah reigned up being a reigning footballer. He laughs, and then you saw Ronaldinho from Brazil, and his reign took him, and he was a famous footballer. I mean, he's a famous footballer because he's still alive. But then he reigned again ended. So it's almost like politics. Not always your reign will continue to be stronger. So Senator Johnson, analytically, he won with a huge percentage in 2005, and then in 2014 he won with a little over 30,000 votes, and then Manawer came around 17,000 plus votes. So it means the percentage that Senator Johnson won with in 2005 was much higher as compared to the percentage that he won with in 2014. So taking to considering that, his fame try to have some level of decline, if I were to put it that way. It will not be the same always. So again, yes, one may say yes, Senator Johnson could be a factor, but again, looking at past record, I mean, he will not just be the same as 2005 we saw.
Okay, this is a tweet. I know this guy very well. He is one of the former Secretary General of the Grand Gate Association, former district president. We worked together when I was president of Bazan District, Alexander Yala. This is a tweet here on the LPR Facebook page. Edith Gongloe posts the tenacity and leadership equipment to deliver a sound administrative and development agenda for Nimba County. Nimayan should vote for the Senate. I know Ellis Yala well. He doesn't rush in making judgments. He must listen to something substantial for which he's coming to making this sort of writing this sort of tweet here. And I think we got to hold these lazy electors who deliberate on purpose and blind themselves and drive us into the lion's den by making wrong choices. And then when they come back here, we will make those choices. All of us are put into the deplorable of baskets and want to frown on government. I think we need to be calling out on these people who are not making strong decisions, because that's how the government is weak. If you don't have a strong legislative branch of government who will hold the executive, who will have the vision to put legislation in policies in place, instead all of them now turn to Medicine Sans Frontier or Save the Children, and Liberian voters think, say, yeah, that man doing it because he gave you much, or he gave you county. I know people want to survive, but that is ridiculous. That is not what the Constitution says for which you were elected by your people.
Yes, certainly, because as a lawmaker, you remember they have three cardinal responsibilities, which include lawmaking, oversight, and representation. But another thing have been added to it, which is a goodwill gesture or philanthropists. Lawmakers have turned to be philanthropists, but when some of those people of these people who are not in power, when they were not in power, they were never a philanthropist, they were never a giver, but unfortunately they've turned out to be a giver, and that is what the politics is seems to be driven at now. 2017, Alfonso, I tell you, there were many debates that are moderated across Monserrado County and all of few counties, and we saw lawmakers were voted out just because they never gave out handout. Our electors, they need to be educated seriously. It's a serious problem. People were voted, I mean, serious-minded lawmakers, should I put it that way, were voted out just because they were not quote unquote a giver, because people went to them saying that they are not philanthropists. The political pacifiers went, and then they were carried away by political pacifiers. So I mean, it's a serious factor as we draw closer to this election in December. It's a serious factor that we need to really talk to our electors, because many of them, the decisions they made in the past, they are now haunting us. Every one of us, those decisions they made are haunting us.
Yeah, okay, Emmanuel, okay, Emmanuel, just let us know. I believe I've sent this message. I believe you or not, most of those people will tell them we will introduce ourselves, who we are, so invite them. But if they don't know you, or maybe to call other people, that net where you go there, this.
But Emmanuel Garrison, let's Garrison just give my number to Garrison. He will definitely call me. Honorable Yelu he knows me very well. You know, I was at the Capitol building for over 6 years, so he knows me very well. will definitely get to him, Emmanuel.
Or
We
even
will get to him.
you can even put his number, or send it to our inbox, LRB Messenger, send it to Mike Down, send it to Alfonso, so LRB Messenger. We have tried to reach all of the people. We try to make it proportional to get everybody
Yes.
to get involved. For some of them, you call them, as soon as you call them or you send a message, you introduce it,
They don't answer.
that the end of it, because they want to go somewhere where they think that people are going to give them breakfast, peanut butter and jelly. We don't give people peanut butter and jelly here. When people come here, we give them jollopo, because we are sick and tired of having these politicians to make ass out of our people, and the things they are doing it. They all get up, and our people need to get up. If they can't come to their senses at this time, they will be there. Mike,
So tomorrow, just to conclude with you, tomorrow, Senator Johnson has said that he will be leading a delegation to Ganta tomorrow, where the coalition for Democratic Change is expected to endorse the candidacy of Jeremiah Kuhn tomorrow. So he has said that out of what he have told people against Jeremiah Kuhn was just to appease the current senator of Nimba.
Okay, I think I'm losing Mike right there. Mike there. Yeah, we go. This is what we always aim. This guy came out and said this guy here, he takes bribe, or he's corrupt. Yet he lifted his right hand and introduced him and taking him to the people of Nimba County. He still have the guts, and he's taking him now for them to sell him out. And then people are going to buy that, or say, okay, maybe I said that was a long time ago. You in America, you in Europe, yeah, you know exactly well. It can be 60 years, 70 years. That damages your campaign, and that puts to an end to your political career. But Liberia, we don't take it for anything. So Prince Johnson now, who has accused this guy, Senator Prince Johnson, that this guy is corrupt, he takes bribe, he's taking him again to introduce him. I strongly believe this guy is trying to find a replacement to solidify, to be more protective of him. It would be ridiculous if the people of Nimba County, the man who introduces somebody to you and turn around and say this person is corrupt, this person takes bribe, and if you elect this person, you send this person to Capitol Hill, well then I don't know which planet you're from and who you are and what you represent. And I can for sure tell you, and you are one of those, you will be the group of people that are hurting our country. I believe there's some issue there. The internet system here. But to be honest with you, I am very, very much pleased. I like to talk to politicians who sound authentic, who seems to be genuine in their articulation.
Minister Jemama walk out on the microphone.
Papa God, please hear the cry of Liberia, hear the cry of Nimba, hear the cry of Grand Gita to Mosorado. That spirit of corruption and dishonesty, let it move from in there.
Oh, please hear my cry. Oh, yeah, hear my cry. Oh, daddy, hear my cry. Yeah, hear my cry. Angala, please hear my cry.
Your politician, because of your dishonesty, even the gospel people in the gospel industry, musicians, they are making songs for them to hear a cry. Stay, you don't want to hear our cry.
Hear my cry. Yeah, well, please hear my cry. I suffer for a long time. I cry for a long time. I grieve for a long time. Oh, I cry for a long time. A blessing gift to Joseph. Power you give to Moses.
If I have my own way, all those 14, 15 that are seeking, only out of the 15, only one is not seeking re-election. That's Senator Alfonso Gate of Grand Gita. All of those people, they need to go. They need to go. They need to go back to the farm. They need to go. They didn't come with anything. They got riches already for the last 9 years or whatever time they need to go. It is time for us to bring in fresh, new visionary people who have the fear of God, people who love their country, people who we can count on to make sound decisions, not these fake, self and ballot-driven politicians, corrupt and dishonest. They're so mean to their country. We give them state power, and they rob our country resources, and they enrich themselves for their girlfriend, their full family, and then when they turn around, they come and act like a human being. They need to go.
I want my husband. Daddy, I need my rebel. Oh, I want my visa. I need my children. Oh, I need my own car. Yeah, I need my visa. Oh, I want to travel. This year, I suffer,
Well, folks, every good thing must come to an end. Sometimes it pains people's heart. If you see what is unfolding in Liberia, the deceptions and dishonesties of our people, other than they need to be held accountable. Why, in as much the boss stop with the executive branch of government, their job there is to check and balance the executive branch of government. But they don't. They don't even have a local offices into their people that elect them to show how disrespectful and disingenuous these people are. Okay, let me see here, Mike here. Let me just bring in Mike here. Also, Mike, you there?
Yes, I'm here. If I'm so sorry for the breaking transmission. I mean, again, this country we are in, Liberia, the issue of electricity is a serious problem. So as a result, power outage is very much common here. So this is where we found ourselves in.
Okay, so I'm already out of time here. Quickly here, in 3 minutes, I can wrap it up.
Yes, I mean, it was quite nice time hearing from Manaware, and we will continue to hear from people who are aspiring to become our leaders. This is what we're supposed to be do, and we'll continue to do it, so as to ensure that we get the voters out there will make the proper decision. We will set the agenda, they will make the proper decision, and we're hoping that they will continue to respond to us whatever way, and so that we can the electors can hear from them, because no leader will say, yeah, for me, I only believe in giving in buying bono zinc for my people. I don't believe in talking. And we saw it at the national level. I don't want to go deeper. We saw it at the national level, where people say, for me, and I don't believe in debate. For example, somebody said, I don't believe in debate. I only believe in what I can do. But in administration, as a student of administration,
they don't have idea. That's why they don't want to.
Yeah. As a student of administration, I think communication is one component of administration. When you read administration, public administration, it tells us that communication, you should be able to communicate frequently to your people, and your communication should be received very well. That's the only way your leadership will be good. So, I mean, we will continue to knock on their doors to ensure that they make themselves available so that we can get to them, so that the voters can hear from them. Exactly so.
All right. So, Mike, I want to thank you so much. What is on the plate tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow, tomorrow is Bishop program from New York.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the controversial Bishop here, who does not anything. But it's sad here, but I can't see any of our reverends and our clergymen here to come and challenge this man here. So it's kind of decision. But guess what? On Thursday, if all goes well, all things considered, I'm gonna be hosting Mount Edith Senatorial Aspirants, Evan Jones, I believe, from the CDC side. We're going to respond to people who make themselves available. We have all of them. So we're not going to be selected. Who willing to come on? We have them. Mike, thank you so much. Any final word?
Well, it's been a quite very much good one. I mean, a very busy day for us here, doing some administrative job at the same time, and doing work behind the scenes. So for
All right. Okay. All right. So, Mike, thank you so much. All right. There you have it. Um, we're going to leave it there. All right, folks, that does for this event. Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Time check here is 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank all of my viewers. Not welcome, thank all of my viewers and listeners. All right, Mr. Shatit, hopefully next time I will try to do that. But we just want to send a strong message to these people. However, when we bring them here, I don't pity them. I will respect them. I will not humiliate them. I will not, do anything to insult them. But I don't have passion for any of these politicians. So when they come here, I make sure I keep focused on them and ask all of the questions. We throw a number out there that nobody call. It seems to me that her message was resonating. So Emmanuel Tiet just said, Mr. Yelu, if you just send me his number, as long as he's willing to come here, we are open. We represent the 15 political spectrums of Liberia. By virtue of the nomenclature of our name, Liberia Public Radio, this is why we don't prioritize people. We only prioritize when we send the information, those who will respond to us right in time, where we give them the opportunity to have this conversation. Probably he's the only person that I have not talked to, but the Tai Wongwei and Dor Kopo, all of those people have had them. So I would appreciate send that number to me or Senator Mike or throw it into LIB Messenger mailbag. We will definitely pick it up. The number there that you can text it to 682-443-8802. My personal number 401-440-6216. Whatever way you send it, when we get that number, believe me or not, we're gonna bring it. Good people, I want to thank you so much for being here. I'm angry because my country is not moving in the right direction. Any other person, including yourself, should be angry, should be unhappy. What is unfolding in our country? And so, one of the pathways to the 2023 presidential election here is this midterm senatorial elections. It's very, very much consequential, and that's why, if the opposition thinks that they are the best alternative, they need to prove themselves better. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not getting the refined message. Only very few. I'm not saying how they intend to execute. I'm not saying the alternative being put in place. And part of that should be the senatorial candidates that they will be producing now. It's not a popularity. They're not beauty pageant we're going for. It's not who fine, who beauty. We want we want visionary people who want to put ideas, people who have the vision, people who have a long, short-term goal for the country. I'm not talking about people who just who are summertime just try to get here out here and think they're going into a popularity contest. You put them there, then tomorrow they turn their back. We have seen that happening over and over, and we must be ashamed and hold ourselves responsible for putting such a people there, holding, giving them state power. That's my bottom point. We don't insult here, and that's why when they come here, we just ask them upside down question. It's left with them to answer it. And you will be the listeners, you will judge who they are. But I think Edith Gongloe should be a person to take a close look. She knows exactly what she was saying. She knows how to mend her words. She knows how to get to a question, and that sense of administrative judgment is in her. I don't praise these people, but just how we bash them and lambast them, but when they do it, when they sound right, well, we will know. We must say it. She was to the point. We asked some crazy upside down question here, but you could see the leader, you could see the tolerance in her response. She was not panicking. She took her time, and that's how when we bring them here. Sometimes we do it on purpose to see the tolerance and to see the judgment making. And some of them you ask them a little kind of funny in their question, then they're all over the place like a cockroach. All right, folks, I want to thank you so much for being here this afternoon. I'm Alfonso Z and sort of a Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much and have a pleasant day. We're going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be here with Bishop Natalia. The truth shall set you free. Thank you so much and have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.
See you again. I'm on the Wasawa. Yeah, yo. How you do was the yeah, how you do was the